Welcome to TransMissions, where we talk all Hasbro, Takara, and third-party Transformers. On this episode, it looks like the upcoming Transformers Rise of the Beast movie will be getting some Funko Pop tie-ins. The new Transformers Prime character is coming in the Legacy line, and we've got an official look at 2 upcoming Rise of the Beast Studio Series figures. Today is Wednesday, December 14th, 2022, and this is episode 516 of TransMissions.
Welcome to TransMissions, the podcast that's thankful HasLab Deathsaurus didn't wait till the last day to meet all its stretch goals. I'm your host, Charles, aka Big C, and I'm joined by the excellent TransMissions team. Jeremy, aka Yakko.
Hey, how's it going?
Apollo, aka Robo Apollo.
Hi, everyone.
And Daryl, the Cybertronian Beast.
Hello. Let's talk Transformers.
As always, we start off the show by thanking our Donatreons, those lovely people who support us on Patreon and PayPal. We are very thankful for the help, and you help us keep the show going and keep the lights on. So we really appreciate that. If you'd like to become a Donatreon supporter, just go to transmissionspodcast.com/support, and that's where you can sign up and help us out. Of course, you get lots of perks, lots of goodies. We get merchandise at higher levels. You get bonus shows, lots of bonus content, lots of good stuff. And this week, we are welcoming our brand new Donatreon, Decepticreeps. So he's been pretty active on the Discord recently. I think he's a big listener and fan of Empire of Rust, our Transformers Live Play RPG podcast. So he finally signed up, and he indicated that he signed up, and we are very thankful.
I think he also commented on some of the YouTube videos we've been putting out.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I'm a little suspicious of this guy. Welcome aboard.
Decepticons are people too. Although, yeah, it's a little pejorative. I think only Ironhide calls them Decepticreeps, but he's taken back the name. Decepticreeps has taken back the name for Decepticons everywhere.
We have feelings too.
So welcome aboard, Decepticreeps. Thank you for your contribution, and I hope you are continuing to enjoy all the bonus content that you now have access to. One of which is our bonus early episodes for our Transformers Live Play RPG podcast, Empire of Rust. So we do this podcast every 2 weeks. We have a new episode in our Empire of Rust show that's run by our awesome producer and editor, Mike. And this week, we're in the in-between week, so there's no new show in the main feed, but we do give you a bonus show early for all the Donatrons. So Donatrons get access to the next episode of Empire of Rust a week early, a week before everyone else. And this episode 91 is very special. If you've listened to last week's episode 90, at the very end, there's a bit of a twist, a bit of a surprise. And episode 91 continues what happens after that surprise is revealed. So I don't even want to say the title of episode 91 because it's kind of a spoiler. We're just talking about spoilers. It's kind of a spoiler, so I'm not going to say it. But if you have been listening, you should be excited for what's coming in Empire of Rust episode 91. So if you are a Donatron, you have access to it now. It's on our Patreon page. Just go download it there. Everyone else, you're going to have to wait until next Monday for the new episode. So enjoy. Look forward to that. All right. Let's jump right into some toy news. And of course, we start off with HasBlab.
All right. So we are going to start off this week's show by just talking about something that if you wouldn't have you would have heard it unless you live under a rock, and that is that Victory Saber, last year's HasLab project, has started to ship. So I think it started in the UK first, then moved to Canada, and then has just started to trickle out in the US by the time of this recording. Probably by the release of this recording, everyone should have theirs. And we're going to talk about it a little bit more in the show, but yeah, it's getting out to people. So be excited if you backed it. I think we talked about it a little bit in the Discord server. Is that about 26,000 people backed this thing? So you should there should be a lot of them out there. So very cool, very excited. Yeah, we're going to talk about it a little bit more as we get through the show. But it's starting to ship. Look for your notifications, your emails, and yeah. Next up, we've got a promotional video from HasLab in regards to Deathsaurus. So this is talking about talking with the Takara Tomy designer, Hisashi Yuki, and he's talking about the design of Deathsaurus, and he's got it standing there next to Victory Saber. So it's about 5 minutes long. It's fully translated at the bottom, so you can go through it there and see. And there's some bits there where it's shown in its in alt mode, and it's very cool. It shows the chair and whatnot, and Deathsaurus sitting in the chair. Definitely take a look at that if you're still on the fence, or if you're super pumped and ready to get Deathsaurus. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Also compares it to the original G1 Deathsaurus figure.
Oh, cool. Okay, I'm glad they're giving more attention to the designers. And if you are interested in this kind of stuff, if you are like a super fan, then you can dig into this. You know, there are a lot of people out there, a lot of fans of the stuff who just want the toy and they don't give a shit about this stuff. But there will be a lot of people who will really dig this, and they want every little piece of minutia they can get from it. So yeah, it's good that this is out there, and there'll be a lot of people who don't want it, but you know, if they don't want it, they don't have to watch it. So
exactly. But I do think this is a good way of, like, as you were saying, like, if people are on the fence about backing Deathsaurus, this is a good way to, like, see, like, all the thought that was put into, like, the design elements of the toy, and just comparing it with Victory Saber. And, like, you know, I wish we could get this thing, like, sooner than a year from now, but we'll probably be getting this next year at this time of year, like we are with Victory Saber. So yeah, and it's massive. Like, he is huge, Deathsaurus. Like, I've seen Victory Saber, and he's really big too. So it's just like, wow, like, these are really impressive figures.
All right, and next up on the list for this week, we've got an update that the Deathsaurus project has achieved all of its tiers. The throne has been unlocked, so we've crossed the threshold of 17,000 backers, and that's great news, because if you ask me, which nobody did, but this is, you know, it's my podcast, which I'm a part of, not completely, but you know what I mean. It's that
the royal my
right. Is that so my opinions, you know, it's part of the show. It's that these things should have been included anyway. But whatever, they're all included now. We got enough people to back this thing fully. Which brings me to the last topic here. It's the weekly look at the full numbers, and as of this recording right now, with 1 day, 1 hour, 53 minutes left, I just refreshed the page. We are at 17,881 backers. So, woo! Good job, everybody. I'm one of those. Is anyone else one of those? Did it really just 83. Jump? Wow! Holy smokes! All right, so, good job. Yeah. Anyone else? One of those backers?
As of about an hour ago.
Yes.
Nice. Fantastic.
We've all backed it at this point. So
great.
And we've also got one coming for, like, as a potential giveaway for the podcast. So look forward to that in the future.
As 2025.
Yeah.
Gotta figure out how we're gonna give away these things. This is crazy.
We have a victory saber as well.
That's true. We just got to get on Mike. Like, I mean, did he get one? Well, we got to figure that out. He's got a day. So let's go, Mike. But yeah, so fantastic. That is, we're all caught up on our Deathsaurus. By the time this episode comes out, the campaign will be over. If you were waiting and didn't do it, and you're listening to this now, you're out of luck. I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to buy one on the aftermarket if that's what you wanted. But if you've been waiting this whole time, and then that's on you, I think. But yeah, it's okay.
Kara, I wanted to ask you. So since Victory Saber, I think you said it ended with about like 26,000, right?
That's right.
So,
yeah, we did get a full number, I believe. So our friend Frenzy is Red, or sometimes goes by Wolfwood, did get us the full count. 26,211 was the final number on Victory Saber.
Yeah. So at this point, so we're in the past, so people know this already as they're listening. But do you think in the last day, Deathsaurus will get that high, or where do you think Deathsaurus will end up? Do you think it'll pass 20,000 or get?
There's going to be a final dump from all of the international partners, like Takara Mall and stuff.
I want to say I don't think it's going to get to 26. Getting 10,000 in the last day, or 9,000 or whatever. I guess it's around 8 at this point, but still, that's a lot of ask in the last day. I guess it's possible, but I think it's probably going to end around 23, 22. Yeah, that's probably what I'm going to say. I'll say 23 at the highest. I'd love to be wrong. Each one of these campaigns, Transformer campaigns, gets more and more. The Unicron one ended around 12,000, I think it was. Got 26 on Victory Saber. Again, the price was better. This is the same price. So
shipping's worse.
Yeah.
For me, yes.
For everyone.
So yeah, but it's you really don't think about the shipping until you're right at the end of that clicking, complete. So
yeah.
But yeah, I think around 23,000 or so. Plus, he's also the bad guy in it, and he's not as known as Star Saber, Victory Saber. So, yeah, I think just shy.
Okay. All right. Well, that's all our HasBlab talk. And let us know if you backed Deathsaurus, and are you looking forward to that? And did you get your Victory Saber yet? Let us know. Show us what you got. Mm-hmm. All right, let's move on to our quick hits.
All right, we're starting off quick hits with a new collaborative project. A listing has been found for Project Bear in the Transformers brand. That is literally all we know. So who knows what it's gonna crossover with? Maybe Winnie the Pooh. I don't know. I know Takara has done that in Japan, but I'm not sure what Project Bear could refer to, like in the greater pop culture landscape.
I don't think Winnie the Pooh would go over well, seeing as most of this stuff's made in China.
Yeah, but I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what this next collaborative project is going to be. Hopefully they do go outside of Hasbro. The last one was the G.I. Joe. So let's just, I like the crazy, like the Top Gun or the Ghostbusters or Back to the Future. Those were fun. Let's kind of jump out into something you wouldn't expect. So anyway, that is something to look forward to next year, I'm sure.
All right. So the next thing we're talking about are the Transformers Rise of the Beast Funko Pop series listings discovered. So, everyone knows about Funko Pops, unless if you're not out there in the world. They come in these little square boxes, and a lot of collectors collect these. And there are the listings. We've got RC, Bumblebee, Mirage, Optimus Primal, Optimus Prime, and Scourge. So if you are a Funko Pop collector, add those to your list of Funko Pops to look for in the future.
Next up, we've got our first look at the XM Studios G1 Galvatron statue. So this is the hyper detailed statue that is in the same vein as some of the other statues they've put out. This is the first prototype reveal for it. It's a very cool looking Galvatron. Looks like his base is standing on the surface of Unicron. You've got one of Unicron's horns poking out there, and then you've got the little mini Galvatron in cannon mode that comes with the main Galvatron figure. So yeah, it looks very very detailed, very that features the kind of distinctive XM Studio style, their take on the G1 characters. This is in the similar vein to that. So it looks very awesome. These statues are usually quite expensive, so depending on your interest, I don't know if it's usually outside my price range. I don't know if you're interested in it, but we don't have any more details yet, but I'm sure we'll talk about it as those become available. But for right now, take a look at this Galvatron and see if you'd like to add this to your list. Okay, well, that's all our quick hits for this week. So let's jump into our discussion topics.
All right. So our first topic is the first toys for Transformers Rise of the Beasts have been revealed. Battletrap and Bumblebee. These figures are both available for pre-order on TF Source, Entertainment Earth, Big Bad Toy Store, The Chosen Prime, ages 3 and up, and Amazon. They will be released on February 17th of 2023. So if you want to make sure you're getting these figures, you can pre-order them now on any of those sites. So we've got some images here that we're sharing right now on the video version of the podcast. So we've got Studio Series Voyager 99 Battletrap. It looks like he's posing on one knee and has weapons in hand. It looks like a gun and a ball with a flail. Very vicious weapons there. And we've got Bumblebee on the right, and it looks like he's sporting the Camaro style alt mode on that. So muscle car looking. So similar to the end of how he looked in the Bumblebee movie that came out a few years ago, but with a little bit of changes to his face and his feet. So Rise of the Beast Voyager Battletrap. It looks like he is featuring for his alt mode the body of a GMC C770. So it looks really cool. Looking at these pictures, and I think that says Bernie's on the side. Like, that's really cool. So it's like this is like an officially licensed mold that they got for this. It looks like. So that's really cool. A lot of detail. And then we're looking at Bumblebee's alt mode right now on the show. And, he's like the typical muscle car that Bumblebee's been in most of the movies. So, but looks slightly different, of course. So, and then there's just Bumblebee standing. Yeah, there's a lot of pictures that dropped, and it looks like there's a few videos that have been posted as well, and these posts that discuss the toys. So, Charles, what do you think of these figures?
These look pretty good for definitely they look more like traditional Transformers. Like, I've made clear in the past my dislike for the aesthetic for the Bay movie Transformers figures and how they kind of are they look kind of mangled and spiky. But here these two characters look, Bumblebee, of course, is we've seen a lot of Bumblebees in the past, and this doesn't stray too far from the Bumblebee design for the movie Bumblebee designs. But it is, I think it looks more streamlined, and this is the I guess the Camaro, like the 70s Camaro version that he's was at the beginning of the '07 movie and then at the end of the Bumblebee movie, even though they're not connected anymore, not in the same universe. They're not connected. But that's the design we're going with here. And I think it looks pretty good. I wish they'd let. I don't know. Maybe he will, but I wish they'd give Bumblebee his voice back now. Since if we're not carrying over that continuity, we should just do that. But that has no bearing on the toy. The toy looks fine. Of course, it's yet another Bumblebee. We've had a lot of Bumblebees over the years, so I'm kind of not looking for another Bumblebee. But the Battletrap figure looks pretty cool too. And this is a Terrorcon, I guess we've that he's going to be in the movie, and the tow truck and robot mode I think look very, it looks like a really kind of I'd almost see this figure fitting in with G1 characters, slightly more detailed, but he looks good in both modes. And I like his wrecking ball accessory. I think that's a nice little weapon for him. And I don't know if this is a pickup for me. I'd like to see the whole toy line before I commit to any one figure. But this Battletrap if this is an indication of what's to come, I think this is a good start for the Rise of the Beast toy line. And maybe that means the aesthetic for the movie will be more in line with what I like. We've already seen the trailer. We talked about the trailer, and that looks good too. So I'm cautiously optimistic at this point.
Cool. Well, thank you for sharing your thoughts. Daryl, what do you think of these toys?
I think the Battletrap looks good. I'm excited to see what Battletrap is like in the movie. I say this a lot, but I am not really interested in picking up any pseudo series, live action movie toys, and I own a bunch of them. So
you're a hypocrite.
I am a hypocrite. So I look at this one and I see one that I could probably easily pass on. There doesn't seem to be any real, unless there's something in the movie that's like, damn, I need that now. So yeah, it's something that I could probably pass on pretty easily. The Bumblebee, I'm so sick of Bumblebee at this point. I'm done with Bumblebee. I look at I like the Camaro. I like the old 70s Camaro, but I'm looking at this figure and yes, we don't have a lot of really great pictures of it, but the plastic gives off this vibe of like this soapy, yellow. It's not a real like solid yellow that it just gives off this low quality kind of vibe. It's just, yeah, it's, it just is so unappealing to me at this point to see a Bumblebee, first and foremost, another fucking Bumblebee. And then this one here is just like, the plastic just does not do anything for me. I could be totally wrong, if you get it in hand and it's the greatest thing ever, but I'm willing to put money down that it is not. So yeah, this is just an easy pass for me at this point. Movie Bumblebee, other than the Bumblebee movie, is just, like is just a tiresome character for me. So yeah, Battletrap is interesting. Bumblebee is a snore fest, a yawn. I can't express that enough that I could care less about Bumblebee.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing your riveting thoughts. Jeremy, did you want to add any commentary about these figures?
Well, I mean, a lot of it's the same as everyone else. I think Battletrap looks really good. Looks high quality. I love the colors, the black and the orange. It meshes really well together. It's got great unique weapons that we don't usually see on Transformers. So I'm not one to get live action movie figures at all anyway, but I think Battletrap looks interesting. And he also, while being a live action character, it doesn't have that aesthetic, or as much as that aesthetic that the live action characters have, that really turned me off. I think he's boxy. I think, it would be a good pickup. It's just I'm not into the live action movie figures. The Bumblebee, I think, is he a deluxe?
Yes.
I believe.
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't look like it deserves to be in the Studio Series line. It doesn't look like it's up to the quality that we expect out of Studio Series. I mean, the head sculpt, it just looks really bad to me. I'm not sure what it is about it. I mean, the car mode looks good, and I like adding the off-road stuff to the Camaro mode, because I think we've seen it in some of the pictures from the movie, like behind the scenes stuff. But the robot mode on this toy just doesn't really do it for me. I mean, the lack of color, like his blade coming out of his arm, it needs to have some kind of paint or something on it. It's just too much yellow there without anything breaking it up. And I have to agree with what Daryl said about just the shade of yellow, and it looks low quality. And I expect Studio Series to be a little bit higher than the mainline figures, which, it's not there. Whereas Battletrap is there. Battletrap looks really good. So
great. Well, thank you for sharing your thoughts on these two figures.
All right, let's move on.
All right. So one figure that came up this week that really got me excited was the Legacy Evolution Leader Class Transformers Prime Skyquake. Now, this is a new interpretation, not a re-release or anything like that. This is a Legacy figure that's coming out. I don't think we have a wave yet that it'll be in, but it's just kind of got leaked. So, those things tend to happen in Transformers. But if you were buying figures back in Transformers Prime or watching the show, you know that a character named Skyquake was a prominent character in the show. He was a brother of Dreadwing, and both characters did get a figure. Now, Dreadwing's figure was much easier to get. Skyquake was one of those figures that came out at the very end of the wave by itself and was invisible. It was a ghost. So it was really hard to find. But this one's coming out first. Whether they do Dreadwing or not, it doesn't matter. This one looks awesome. It's a redesign of that of the figure of the character with a new not a new alt mode, but a newish looking alt mode. So we're getting a new jet, and I love this figure. I think it looks fantastic. The Skyquake figure, our character, was just an awesome figure in Transformers Prime. He was one of the baddies that just kind of kicked ass and took names, and I think he's just a great character. If you haven't watched Transformers Prime, watch that show. It was awesome. This figure looks amazing with a lot of great detail, not a lot of visual gappiness, which I think is great. So many of those modern figures today have a lot of really huge gaps in them. This one looks pretty solid, top to bottom. But I want to go around the table and take a look and see what people think about it, because this is coming, and it's one of the ones that's not G1, but it does should bring up a little nostalgia, because I think from what I can tell here, Transformers Prime Skyquake was available in 2012. Holy cow! Can you believe it was 10 years ago? So that's a while. But Charles, you should remember 2012. It was not that long ago for you. Time doesn't seem to to pass as quickly for you. So it's what are your thoughts here on this Skyquake?
It looks good. So I remember. So I can't remember if Skyquake was the character that was voiced by Tony Todd in Transformers Prime, or if it was his brother who was voiced by Tony Todd. But he was.
I don't know, man. I know the toys.
Well, spoiler alert. One character died immediately, and one character had a recurring.
Richard Green.
This one died immediately.
Okay, then that was not Tony Todd. Was Dreadwing. He was the brother who wanted revenge for the death of Skyquake in the show. So
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, both characters, of course, were the same animation model. So one they just had different coloring. So yeah, So I guess that means we'll probably get a Dreadwing figure if we've got the Skyquake figure. So
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a good looking figure. I remember Dreadwing and Tony Todd's voice, because Tony Todd has a distinctive voice. If anyone remembers Tony Todd, as he was Candyman in the horror movie Candyman. He's a character actor, been in lots of things. Very distinctive voice. And that's what I remember because Transformers Prime was I think the last Transformers animated series that got top tier voice acting talent and paid a lot of money for it, because they were the flagship show on the Hub. Remember the Hub, kids? 10 years ago, the Hasbro and the television network. Yeah, I mean this is a good figure. So if you are nostalgic for Transformers Prime, you probably will be interested in this. Although I will hold out for a Dreadwing figure, because that's the character I remember, who was the one that hung around on the show pretty frequently. So yeah, looks good.
Cool. Jeremy, Charles reminded us of Tony Todd, and I did not know it was Tony Todd, but Tony Todd is a good voice actor, regardless of his on-screen credits. But, I didn't know much about Tony Todd, but Charles seems to know quite a lot about Tony Todd. But what are your thoughts about this Skyquake figure, regardless of who voiced him? Apparently it was Tony Todd.
It was not.
No, Tony Todd was Dreadwing.
Oh, it's not Tony Todd. Right. Okay.
No.
Sorry. Scratch that. Sorry, Tony Todd.
Yeah. But regardless of any of the voice actors, this looks really, really good. I love the colors. I love the redesign. It's what they did. No one was really super happy about Bulkhead and his G1ification for the line, but in hand, he was actually pretty good. This guy, just from the pictures, looks really good just right off the bat. And I'm leaning towards this being a pickup. It looks really good. And the alt mode looks great. Like you said, there's not many gaps. I mean, the only ones I can really see offhand are just where the hands have to fold in,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just a necessity. But whatever they're doing on the legs, they've got probably a flap to cover it up or something. And he looks very clean. Even the plane mode looks pretty clean, unless you're looking at it directly from the bottom. And then there were some, you can see where everything is, but let me pull up the picture here with like the landing gear and stuff. It looks really cool. Like the canopy comes up. He's got seats in there. I mean, this is a very nice looking jet, and I don't know. I'm really happy with this. It was a nice surprise, and anything that can give Prime more love, I'm all for it.
Right on. Can you go to the top-down picture right there? Yeah,
This
where
one?
the cursor is. Yeah. So Apollo, I'll come at this with you, but the original Skyquake is a kind of like a Euro G1 toy. It's right there. So not that you can see.
Do that again.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go. It's right there. So anyway, but in its alt mode, it does have a lot of these kind of surface details in it. Not exactly to this color because Euro G1 was just nuts with the colors. But these kind of, I don't know, openings on the body of the jet, those are part of it. And the giant thrusters on the wings, I mean, that's kind of a given for jets, but that's also part of it. For the G1.5 one, those actually they held bombs that you would just twist and drop them. It was instantly lost, but whatever. So knowing that this actually keeps design elements from the original Skyquake and brings it forward through to a figure that's homaging Transformers Prime as well, does that do anything for you, or does whether you knew it or not, you don't care, you just like the figure the way it is?
Well, I know who Skyquake is because I did watch Transformers Prime, but I watched it in 2017. I think whoever designed this toy needs lots of kudos and gold stars or whatever they give out to toy designers, because I think this looks really good. I am very impressed, repeating what both Charles and Jeremy have said about there not being, many gaps in this figure, like the legs, and I think they did a really good job, G1ifying this design, simplifying it, but also keeping the details that you mentioned. We're looking at the details right now on the video, for the jet. And I think it's impressive. It's almost similar to Masterpiece, at least to me, in my very limited experience with Masterpiece toys for his alt mode. I think they did a really good job on this. This might be, I'd have to check my budget when the time comes around this is released, but I think that I'm going to pick this up. It looks really good. And I'm just excited to see Transformers Prime getting all the love it's getting in the Legacy toy line. So, yeah, they did, both modes are very impressive on this. If we can find out who designed this, I'd like to say thank you. So they did a good job.
I'm sure once the official announcement comes out, they'll let us know. Mm-hmm. They've been pretty good about that lately.
Yeah. I don't know whether you can put it up on the screen, but I did just put a picture of the G1.5 figure in the Donatrion's chat.
Give me 1 second.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
And DJ Ronan, I didn't want to put it up because it would cover up Apollo while she was talking. But there would be a chance for a Machine Wars Starscream repaint of this.
Ooh.
Generation Selects.
There you go.
Oh, nice.
So you see the fins in the middle there as I point at my screen.
Yeah.
Can you see my finger pointing at my screen?
No, I see the fins. I'm very familiar with air vehicles. Yeah.
Right. You see the engines, the jet turbines, they put those on planes to keep them in the air.
The canopy area here kind of resembles the stealth bomber, in my opinion,
Oh
but
yeah.
it definitely is not what they did with the new one.
No, but there are touches. That's the whole. That's
Right.
the point, right? There are
Mhm.
touches. It's kind of like Skyquake. Yeah, okay, it's the prime Skyquake, but we know where it came from, and people in the know will get it. So now you all know. You're welcome.
And knowing is half the battle.
Yes.
Wrong franchise.
Aw. You had to ruin it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's all our toy topics for this week. So we'll move on to trips to the store.
The Transmissions podcast will return after these messages.
Okay, as always, Trips to the Store is brought to you by our friends at TeePublic. And those we really appreciate if you would take advantage of our TeePublic store. There are Christmas, Christmas shopping sales going on. So I'm not sure as this show goes up if there will be a TeePublic sale going on. Most likely there is, because they're trying to get as many sales in before the holidays as possible. So usually TeePublic runs 35% off sales on their site-wide sales pretty frequently. So if you'd like to get in on that, just go to transmissionspodcast.com/shop. And that's where you can buy our Transmissions merchandise. But you can also buy anything from TeePublic through our link, and that will still give us a little bit of a help with the show. So please use our link for any of your TeePublic needs, transmissionspodcast.com/shop. I have seen several orders been going through from TeePublic on our shop. So thank you to people who have been ordering. We really appreciate that. And yeah, keep doing it.
It looks like as we record this on Sunday, it's up to 35% off. I don't know if that's going to continue on through Wednesday, but anyone listening live, which our Donatrions can listen live,
Do it now. All right.
I was wearing my good guy logo shirt just around the house, and Jeremy brought this thing for me in Chicago. So I've had it since late October, and I just kind of wearing it around the house, and I wear it once a week because I like it, and it's usually at the top of my drawer of shirts. So I really don't dig. I just take what's on the top and put it on. But my wife was looking at it, and she's like, does that say good guy? I'm like, yes, yes, it does. She's like, has it always said good guy? I'm like, well, this is my design. So yes, it does. She's like, huh, I never saw that before.
You're like, that I came up with.
Yeah. I made these, and the other one says bad guy. So yeah, there you go. We did that to get around the trademarks. She's like, oh, I never noticed that. I never really pay attention to the shirts you wear, though. Thanks. But yeah. Oh, well. Anyway, quick little story about how awesome our shirts are. They're very stealthy.
They're great.
They're nice.
Side note, Daryl's wife is not a fan of Transmissions.
No, not at all.
As long as she keeps up with Daryl, that's all we care about.
So yeah, I mean, definitely if you are interested in one of those good guy or bad guy shirts designed by Daryl, you can pick them up at our Transmissions TeePublic page, transmissionspodcast.com/shop. Okay, we've got stuff to show off this week. I'm going first because I sadly do not have any Transformers related stuff. But I did pick up some comics at the comic shop that I did want to just show off for anyone who is a fan of Gargoyles. I got Gargoyles issue 1. This is the new Gargoyles comic. This is written by the original creator and showrunner of Gargoyles, Greg Weisman. And the artist is George Cambadais. Not really sure, but
who publishes that?
This is Dynamite. Yeah. This is still a Disney property, so they had the license from Disney. But I'm a big fan of Gargoyles since the 90s. I picked up they ran 3 seasons back in the 90s. Sadly, garnered a lot of fandom, but Disney never really bothered to do anything with them again. They did have a comic about 10, 15 years ago. They had a comic that continued the story, and then this comic is continuing that story. But they were all written by Greg Weisman, the show creator and showrunner. So they are canon if you care about canon. If you are a fan of Gargoyles, there's a new Gargoyles coming out, and it started in December.
You can watch it on Disney Plus. If you're a fan of Star Trek: The Next Generation, almost the entire cast is on the show.
Yes. That was definitely a selling point. Although we complain about Transformers doing multiple covers. I picked up 3 Gargoyles covers here.
Did you pull a Charles?
No, I cannot pull a Shelton with this series because I'll show you in a minute. I picked up 3 covers here, but take a wild guess how many variant covers there are for this issue, this brand new 1 issue. Higher.
26.
Higher.
What?
35.
Higher.
Oh, 50.
I mean, I lost count after 50, but here, this is.
Are they doing like store exclusive covers?
Yeah, they're all store exclusives. They'd be.
Yeah. So there's it's a 5x4 grid. There's 20 on this page.
You should have tried to get a sketch cover.
20 on these 2. So that's 60. We're up to 60. And then I guess another 79 variant covers here.
How did you lose count? That was really easy to count.
I'm not sure I would want to drive over any bridge that you engineered.
It's okay. I don't work on bridges. It's fine. You're safe. You're safe.
Well, I'll tell you, I tried to get that book on Wednesday without actually telling my shop I wanted it. I just kind of thought I'd be able to walk in and get it. It was sold out. So it's popular. It's a popular book, and might have something to do with the fact that original series, the number 1 issue on that is worth some serious coin. It's like some big.
Oh,
money.
really? Yeah, I have that issue. Oh,
really?
Like, do you mean the one from back in the 90s or the one from now? Oh, the one I don't have the one.
Who gives 2 shits about the one from now? They want the one from the 90s.
No, I have the one from the mid 2000s. I don't have the one from the 90s. So, okay.
Whatever one you would think would be the first appearance of Gargoyles in comics.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah. Use that app that I keep telling you about that you don't seem to want to download. You just type in Gargoyles as the title.
What's that app again?
It's called Key Collector Comics.
Yeah.
It's okay. You're not writing anything down. It's okay. I'll tell you next week.
It's on video though.
Right. Of course. Yeah. Anyway, good show. I'm glad that you got 3 comics of the same copies of the same book that I couldn't get one of.
I'm surprised because when I went into my shop, they had tons of them. So, I mean, if you want me to pick some up, I can pick up a bunch for you if you want.
Maybe they weren't in Canada because of no French translation.
No, it's they're just popular in my shop. Yeah. I could get one. I probably if I really wanted to. I just thought I'd be able to walk in and grab one and they didn't have one.
Mm. Well, the Gargoyles do transform from gargoyle to stone. So there you go. There's your tie-in.
Yeah, stone by day, warriors by night, right?
That's right. Exactly. All right, Apollo. I milked Gargoyles for all it was worth. So now, if you've got some real Transformers content, you can show it off.
I do. I've been saving a lot of things. I actually have a lot of things to show. So the first thing I got was from a gaming store. This is the Transformers role-playing dice set.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I've been looking for that.
Yeah. So, it's really cool because we were just there like a few weeks ago when they had them there, like unexpectedly. And they're like, oh, there's 2 different versions of this set. And I'm like, does that mean there's a Decepticon version? Like, they only had this version. So, I got that. the next things I want to show, I have a lot of like tiny things, so I'm getting them out of this case here. Is I ordered from Card Kingdom because I wanted to make sure I secured some Starscream cards. Was I got the Magic the Gathering, the normal Starscream. Let's see if it'll focus. This is not the shiny one, the foil version, but I'm still happy with this. Like, so, and then I got the Shattered Glass non-foil version. Want to get the foil version. Hopefully I can pull one because they are very expensive now. At least I checked on the website. They're like selling for like over $300 at this recording. So the next thing I want to show is I bought the Magic the Gathering Brothers War. This is called the gift set. So it came with I don't know really the nomenclature for Magic stuff, so forgive me. Like, I don't know a lot of stuff with that. So, came with a lot of packs of cards. There were ones that had all foil. There were like 2 packs like that, and there were like normal boosters, maybe. Like, I don't know, but some cool things came with that. So we got this cool poster, little mini poster of Goldbug and Optimus Prime. I don't know who the artist is because it just says Volta. So
it's that's the card art from the Optimus Prime card, and the artist is Casey Collar.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. Casey.
I think so. No, Casey's on the new stuff. So sorry, I think that might be Marcelo Mater. Sorry.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I really like this poster. And inside this box, there's a sleeve of like things you can punch out, and these are considered tokens in Magic the Gathering. So once again, we have that art here of Optimus and Goldbug, and there's some other Magic stuff. I have no idea. But we've got Megatron and my favorite right here, Starscream. So I'm very happy about that. Anytime I get a Starscream surprise, I'm very happy. So yeah, and so some of the cards I pulled, I got the foil version of Flame War.
Cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
So that was really cool. And this is her alt mode. I think this is a token too. This is Laserbeak. And then I also got the foil version of Prowl.
Nice.
Yeah, thank you. So
cool.
Yeah. So I do not know a lot about Magic the Gathering. That's like my extent. And I played it casually. So that's all. And then also it came in that set for the Brothers War is this really cool big D20 Transformer dice. So it's having problems focusing, but this is a split Autobot and Decepticon logo, and it's yeah. So this is really cool. And it's big too. So I'm really glad I pre-ordered this set. So yeah, so those are the Magic stuff. And then I got a surprise from Daryl in the mail. Yeah. So well, kind of a surprise. There were things in this. I was expecting one thing, but there were some surprises in there. So the first thing, which I'd been questing for a while, but I got Minerva. I'm so happy. Nice. So thank you. She's really cool. I'm so glad I waited on getting this version of this mold instead of Alita. But she's super cool. I opened her up today finally and been, posing her and everything. And she's really awesome. So thank you for helping me get this figure because I was having no luck finding this here. So thank you.
No problem.
Yeah. And then some other stuff in here. There's this included was a super tiny Starscream. It's like a little keychain from the 80s, right? So
Nice.
yeah, so that was really cool.
It's a G1 Starscream.
Yeah, so now I have a real G1 Starscream that is built in the 80s, made in the 80s.
Yeah.
I have the re-release, but that was released in like 2018, so that doesn't count. So, and then I know he had told me that he was going to give me this at a convention someday, but I guess because like we can never.
You just don't want to come to Canada, so.
Yeah, we never can meet up. I have the Protoform movie version of Starscream finally. So I'm very excited about this. So I have to be very careful with him because he is gold plastic, as you can see. But yeah, so anyways, thank you so much for sending me all these things. This really made my week. So thank you.
Yeah. Does that era of gold plastic have problems?
I believe it does.
Oh, okay.
The movie stuff is right at the end. I mean,
okay.
Can ask Apollo to test it for you.
No.
Let me do some tests. I can run some tests.
Yeah.
Just breathe on it hard.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's my trips to the store.
Very nice. Okay, well, now with Jeremy and Daryl ending the segment, they wanted to do kind of a tandem trips to the store. So you guys,
we kind of tied on the rock paper scissors. So
good old rock. Nothing beats that.
You want to go first, Daryl, with your part?
Sure. So I got Victory Saber. He came in. This box is amazing. So this box is a slip cover. If you can go around it, you'll see all the pictures. Jeremy's got it there. Great product shot on the back. Yeah, this is if you do remember, we did talk about it at the time when they talked about the box. This front box art is done by Guido Guidi. Jeremy showing it off there on his side, but it is you can open it. I haven't done it yet.
Here,
but
I'll go big screen and
there you go. So he's got it there upside down, or no, I guess it's just whatever. So it
folds around.
Yeah, so it's just it's reversible. There's a bunch of different things to see on it. There's lots of different pictures on the slip cover.
It's in the style of your traditional Japanese Transformer boxes.
Yeah, so you could logistically just flip it, inside out and put it back together, and then you've got a Japanese looking box. I opened it up and immediately saw this giant print, which is just on a piece of cardboard, and it's the same as the box art, but featuring the Minicons.
Yeah.
But
also at the top,
there's a little teaser. I don't know who that could be. But the art's great. Guido Guidi's just a fantastic artist. If we didn't know that by being so, immersed in this fandom, then there's no way of seeing who the artist was on this. It doesn't.
Well, I think, but they talked about it on the streams,
right? But I mean, that's because we're in this. That's how we know. The packaging with the instructions, which is just it's like a map. You remember maps, people? You open that thing up and it's just huge. Jeremy's going to do it for you. Before GPS, you had to navigate with a map, a paper map. Charles knows
gold plastic syndrome.
Wow, that's huge.
I will say, I was hoping that for being a HasLab project, the instructions would be good. They're not. They're crap. Just like every other Transformers instruction, they're crap.
Charles can probably attest to the instructions on Unicron. I remember them hearing them. They were crap as well.
but they were a book.
The first thing you see when you take the print off is this lovely piece of cardboard, or this lovely just tray holding all the accessories. You got a bunch of stuff there, and it looks very nice, all sectioned off like that. So yeah, it's all there.
All the stretch goals.
They all fit there. I don't know what they would have done if you didn't get them all. And then the rest of the box opens up, and you got the main Mamba Jamma here. So yeah, Star Saber and Victory Leo with all the guns and the mini-cons. Can't forget about those mini-cons. They're in there. So I have not. Oh, Micromasters, sure. I have not taken mine out of the box yet, but I did open the box, and I will be taking him out probably this week, just to kind of make sure that the QC is good. You can see on mine, and Jeremy will probably get a little closer. The main one that we're going to look at is that you want to look at is the gold on the chest of both Star Saber and Victory Leo. There seems to be a lot of people's copies with some flaking of some kind. Of some people have full on fingerprints in them. So it's a little bit of an issue. I just have a little scrape on them. There has been some talk already in the Toy Hacks forums that any set they do for this thing, they're definitely throwing in some gold foil stickers. So rest assured, Toy Hacks is going to have your back.
Speaking of stickers, did you look on the back of the bag with instructions?
Yeah, I saw that there's some stickers
there's
in there.
Two stickers you have to apply on the wing.
Oh, okay.
They're on Victory Leo's wings. I'll show you in a minute.
Cool. Well, yeah. Well, why don't you go and tell us what you got, because you've got yours all opened up.
Yeah, I got right here full on Victory Saber. The blast effects are kind of droopy from being compressed in the packaging, but here he is. And I mean, my gold sections seem to be pretty good. I think there's on Victory Leo, it looks like there might be a little scrape down there, but I mean, nothing is too bad. Mm-hmm. Let me take him off the stand where I can manipulate him a little bit. Stand. I wish the stand was a little bit more adjustable. It just, you have to take off the vertical piece to readjust into the 2 or 3 configurations. Mm-hmm. I wish it was one that you had some joints in it, but here he is. Listen,
love it.
That's some good ratcheting right there. But I was pretty impressed with the quality. The gun here, you can, for the various modes, like if you want to put them on Victory Leo, you have to have this folded down and he kind of clicks in somewhere. My kid was going crazy about the blast effects. And it did hold up to an 8-year-old playing with Victory Leo for a while. So, that's a good sign. I was on pins and needles the entire time, but I'm like, it's a Transformer. He needs to be able to play with Transformers. One thing that's neat that I didn't see discussed in any of the pre-streams, in his hand, 15 plus.
Daryl.
Well, okay, but when you open his fingers, this little loop here that holds the weapon goes up into the hand. I thought that was pretty neat.
Then, that's cool. Like the Siege Jetfire, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. Well, I hadn't seen that before. So I have them here in full Victory Leo mode.
Victory Saber.
Victory Saber mode. It took quite a while to work through the directions on some of this, just trying to figure out exactly what it was trying to indicate to do. I've never had a Victory Leo or Victory Saber in my life, so it was just really interesting. Let's see. The stickers that comes with go right here on the wings, and
Okay.
I didn't do a super good job, but I'm not usually one to sticker my figures, but I figure I'm opening this, I'm gonna experience the full thing. Other than that, I mean, I'm very, very happy with the Star Saber part, the Victory Leo part, the combined Victory Saber part. And now I'll get into some stuff that I didn't like besides the instructions. The Micromasters. They are trash. They are junk. I just like this one is it Holly or but I went to transform it and it's a Micromaster, so everyone can transform a Micromaster that's like, 2 or 3 steps. I went to do this and the leg just comes off so easy.
What?
On both of them. The ball joint just doesn't hold at all. I mean, this is ridiculous. I expect HasLab to be of a certain quality, and these are just so horrible. The legs just they come off with barely any pressure. So I'm very upset about these two. The Fire did the same thing. Just you're trying to transform it and the leg comes off, and I see that a lot with mainline figures, at a certain level, but I didn't expect it in the HasLab, and that kind of soured the experience a little bit. And I know these are what Siege or like they're re-release or repaint of a recent figure, but yeah, it's just you just barely move and it comes off, and that's just so frustrating because you want to be able to experience everything as it was intended, and this is just a big fail. I'm happy Deathsaurus is not coming with Micromasters. They it just has the chair and the gun.
The two chests, the breast masters,
but those are uniquely designed for Deathsaurus, so I'm hoping it'll be a little bit better quality control here. This is just I'm just not happy with those at all.
Yeah, these were repaints of existing Siege Micromasters. So
right. The stand, I've already talked about it. It looks good. I haven't put him in his full vehicle mode yet, but there is you can manipulate it here and have him either going across the V that way or that way. But I don't know. All in all, I'm pretty happy with it. This was my first HasLab, and it's a very very nice display piece. I'm gonna have to figure out where I have room for them. So, I mean, Daryl, you can make a whole Victory Saber shelf.
I could. The one thing that I wanted to do before we kind of closed out trips to the store, because we're probably not going to talk about Victory Saber again on the show today, but there's been a bunch of people complaining about the figure, and I haven't had a chance to amass a list, like a full list of everyone's kind of complaints, but there are some things to watch out for people out there that are just getting them. And frankly, I wasn't going to open this thing. I was going to leave it sealed because I'm terrified of the white plastic, going yellow.
Right.
So I was going to leave it for a while, but seeing everyone's kind of complaints coming in, I had to open it just to see, if I had a a dud here. So we talked about the gold plastic on the front of the two figure, or so gold, not the gold plastic, the gold paint or the gold stickers, right? You got to check that. That's visually something you can see by not even having to clip the plastic straps. Another thing is that the blue painting, and you can show yours, the blue painting along the like the wrists, or the blue painting just on top of the kneecaps and stuff like that. That's not plastic, that's a paint. So
Right.
Some people have gotten theirs and it's smeared. So just make sure that yours is a clean copy, and it's not
showing.
not messed up.
Mine is pretty good. This right knee, that you can see a little bit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But-
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nothing, nothing too bad.
Yeah, I saw somebody did post a picture where the blue on one of the wrists was actually smeared right up the arm a bit. It was
Yeah.
quite bad, quite noticeable.
That would be a case where you need to call Hasbro and
Yeah, and that's what I was going to kind of get to at the end of this, is that everything kind of got to go back through Hasbro. But the another thing is that the figure inside, so Saber, the figure that goes inside of the the suit that makes Star Saber, is there have been misassemblies. So I've seen a picture with Saber having two right fists, I believe it was. So and we know that this is a HasLab project, and we know that it's a premium project, but it still gets assembled by the same people. So the people are gonna make mistakes the same way they're going to make mistakes on mainline stuff. So yeah, there's been cases that I've seen just on Reddit and on Facebook and on other forums where one of the knees isn't right. I saw something today just before we started recording where the legs of Star Saber have these slots that are supposed to go together when connecting to Victory Leo, and they are they're opposite. They're supposed to be on the same side so they can connect evenly. So those kind of things, it's misassemblies. They're taking the wrong part. So they believe they're on the inside of the leg.
I can.
Yeah, they're on the inside of the leg. I can see them on mine.
Okay.
So they're just the slots there are on the inside, just right there. You're looking. I can see them. No, not there.
What?
They're on the inside of the white leg.
Oh, here?
Yeah, those.
Oh.
Yeah. So those things there are supposed to be both on the facing the front. Yeah. So they're So you've got the empty hole. You would close that back up. See the hole your fingers over top of, right?
Oh, are you talking about right here?
No. You had it. You're
this
right
slot?
there. That hole. Yeah.
That's not involved in attaching the Victory Leo at all. Victory Leo attaches with
in vehicle mode. I believe it's in
vehicle mode. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
So the one on the opposite leg as well, they're supposed to be in the same kind of area, right? So they're towards the front of the figure. One guy showed me a picture where one was at the front and one was at the back. It's misassembly. They're being put together wrong. And you just got to kind of make sure. So there's a lot of people out there like myself who are going to keep these things in their boxes and not kind of open them. You got to open them up. You got to open them up and you got to look at them and make sure that you've got one that's not a dud. Because unfortunately, there seems to be an awful lot of them out there that they're having issues with. And I mean, I don't know whether the MicroMasters are cause for you to call Hasbro, but they could be. I mean, they're part of it. It was a stretch goal, right? It's part of the process.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be cause for me to sending the whole thing back, but it would see what they say, right?
Yeah. I mean, at this point, I'm just letting my thoughts be known on this platform that we have here.
Yeah.
I will also say the Brain Master here for Saber was absolutely tiny. I'm just leaving them in there. I'm not going to risk losing them.
Oh yeah,
absolutely tiny.
He's so small. Yeah. So if you do end up with a QC problem, something that you cannot live with, that you've paid $200 and this is no good, go ahead and complain on social media, but contact Hasbro.
Yeah.
Contact Hasbro Pulse and say, hey, I got sent my Hasbro Pulse Victory Saber and this is what's wrong. And I would like something done about this. And then they will send you a deluxe and say, there you go. your help. I don't know what they'll do, but speaking with the designers, that is what they want you to do. If you have an issue,
right? But if people don't complain, they will never know.
Exactly. So. Yeah. So yeah,
this is pretty disappointing to have such significant quality control issues with this limited run figure. I mean,
right? Well, I mean, it's not all of them, obviously, because mine doesn't seem to have any of those issues.
I mean, that's the thing, though. But if it's like, say it's like 5%, that's still a significant amount.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like this is not like a figure you can just get a replacement for because they made a limited quantity. So,
well, you got to think the people that are buying these figures are going to be vocal if they get something that they don't have a right. So we're likely gonna, if we're in the circle, we're gonna hear about the ones that are gonna have issues. So, it's just, I mean, and there's gonna be an awful lot of them that aren't getting opened yet, too.
Right.
So,
and that's what worries me about the white plastic, because like mine, pristine, but it's brand new. So
yeah, what'll it look like in a month, 2 months?
Yeah,
a year. Yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to get that out there because can use this as a bit of a public service announcement as well, because it people need to know how to deal with their stuff.
Right.
Okay, well, that'll do it for this week's Trips to the Store.
We now return to the Transmissions podcast.
And we'll move on to convention news.
All right. And starting out in convention news, TFCon Los Angeles has some more guest announcements. First is EJ Sue, who was longtime artist in the IDW comics, starting very early on with Infiltration, and got to return towards the end. He was on Last Spot Standing, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
He did the art on Last Spot Standing. Yep.
Yeah. So that'll be awesome. Bring some of your books and get some sketches. And then also, I guess, friend of the show, we can say now, David K. And he's been on our show. He's going to be there as well. Voices of Megatron and Beast Wars, and the Armada trilogy, Optimus Prime and animated. So awesome seeing him there. So many, LA area people are going to be there, but awesome seeing EJ Sue and David K going to be back at TFCon.
All right, and we will finish up the show with some feedback. Okay, we've got another voicemail from our Masterpiece Donatron, friend of the show, John 4X Levengood.
Hey guys, John 4X Levengood here again. Actually, I'm calling about the Holiday Edition Optimus Prime. I have actually already pre-ordered him personally, and there's a reason why. As you guys may know, I do drive truck for a living, and the company I'm currently with, I started out in a very specific kind of semi-truck. I was, on the first run I actually got a bid on, I was in a day cab Volvo dual axle semi-truck. And the mold that this Optimus Prime has is a day cab Volvo dual axle semi truck. I've actually thought about getting a second one to see if I can't get somebody to kit bash him and paint him up to be like the company I work with. But that's neither here nor there. I just wanted to let you guys know that I've already picked him up and I'm looking forward to this. This is more of a nostalgia reason for my personal life, but I thought you guys would like would be interested in hearing about it. Talk to you next time. Bye.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's really awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool, John.
It's like you have a personalized transformer specifically for you. That's
I mean, it's like someone that had the Beetle, and this is a huge Bumblebee collector because of that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah.
How many Volvo Transformers do we have? Not many, I'm sure.
Mm-mm.
No, we got one. I think one now.
That's really cool.
Well, I mean, if I would say to John, I think you may not have to buy two. You can buy your one and get it done. A white transformer is pretty easy to customize because it's already white. You don't have to do much priming. But that as we discussed last week, I think it was that mold is new. So when have they only used a prime mold once? So
especially if they have to get a license for the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So expect it to come out at least another couple times. So you'll have multiple opportunities to get it. And maybe if you don't need the trailer, you can save some money and wait for a separate release.
Or maybe he just wants to get every version of it because that'll increase the nostalgia.
He's already. Yeah. I said he doesn't need to get two of this version. He can get this one, and then he can wait for another version. That's what I said. Yeah. He can still get the Christmas one.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, John. Thanks for sending that in, and you'll have to show us when you get it. Show us how it looks, and if you do get it modified, let us see how it looks. Cool. Okay, and our last bit of feedback comes from our Discord because we have a returning listener. So we got a message from Clint. I believe formerly he was Clintro on the Discord, but he's rejoined as Clint, and he was a pretty active listener in Donatron back in the day, and he's gotten back into it. And Clint says, it's been a long time since I listened to the show. Always loved the banter back and forth between you guys. I lost my job earlier in the year and cut back on listening to shows because I didn't want to hear about all the cool stuff I could never afford. It was great downloading the newest episodes and felt like no time had passed. You guys rock. Thank you for still bringing amazing content year after year. That's great feedback, Clint. Thank you for listening. Thank you for coming back. Sorry to hear you fell on some hard times there. And it sounds like we talked in the Discord. It sounds like things are looking up for you now. So glad to hear that. Glad that things are getting better for you now, and glad to have you back listening again. So keep hanging out on the Discord. Let us know how things are going with you. And we hope you're continuing to enjoy the show. And, just thanks for being you.
Yeah. You rock too.
You do.
Yeah. And Clint, we communicated in the Discord before as well, but I too in the spring lost my job, and I couldn't just leave. I had to stick this out with these buggers. So I just sold children. I just sold my kids. They're valuable. All joking aside, though, things are looking up for myself and you as well. So, here's to a better 2023.
Yep. Awesome. Okay, well, that takes us to the end of this episode of Transmissions. As always, at the very end, we give a shout out to our masterpiece donatrons. These are the folks who continue to support our podcast at our highest level on Patreon. So we really appreciate that. That's why we give them a shout out in every episode. So thank you once again to John Forex Levengood and Demon Tech 82. And also, before we go, want to mention again, we've still got a promo code going for our toy hacks. So if you want to visit our friends at toyhacks.com If you buy anything from their site, everything, you can get a 15% discount on everything that you buy in their store by using our promo code TM1234. Very easy to remember, TM1234. That will give us a little bit of a help and give you 15% off your order with Toy Hacks. Cannot be combined with any other promos, but you can still use your Robo points with it. If you're looking to get some labels for anybody in your life for Christmas or any other holiday shopping, maybe that's a good deal. It's a good nice little discount for you to use whenever you want, and doesn't expire. It's no limit on how many times you can use it. So as many times as you need labels, just pick it up.
Just if it doesn't work, then just see if there's some other sale going on for like holidays.
Yep. All right. And Apollo, thank you again for joining us this week. Why don't you tell everyone where they can find you online?
Yeah, thanks for having me on. It's fun as always. So you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at RoboApollo. But I'm mostly active in the TransMissions Discord server. So join the Discord server for TransMissions. And I should know the web link by now, but I don't.
Transmissionspodcast.com/Discord.
Yeah. Yeah. So go to the website, go to that link and join the Discord server. Everyone there is very friendly and knowledgeable about Transformers.
Cool. All right, everyone. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching and listening. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Later.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Transmissions. If you'd like to join the conversation, travel to our Discord channel at transmissionspodcast.com/Discord. Want some cool Transmission swag? Feast your eyes on our Transmissions gear at transmissionspodcast.com/shop. If you'd like to support our podcast, go to transmissionspodcast.com/support or tell your friends about our show. We'll see you next time.